Greetings, fellow King of the Hills. Tiki here.
And Jacob Wile, too.
And welcome to another thrilling and competitive edition of Tiki's Universe. It's the show where we talk about all things current animated television, including Steven Universe reactions and Star versus the Forces of Evil, and coming soon, Milo Murphy's Law. Oh, yeah. Jacob, this is actually a redo of a podcast that we did, and it is honestly completely my fault because I've been sick all week and I was just stumbling all over myself. I was getting my facts wrong left and right. It was embarrassing. So I just said, you know what, let's scrap that. And Jacob, what is the main reason? Give me in one word, sum up why we're talking about this episode again, why we're scrapping that last podcast.
We messed up bad.
No, but in one word, one specific detail that we have to cover that we didn't cover the first time.
Corn.
Corn! It's corn! Okay, so let's get started with that. We see it's some sort of like family reunion, I guess, between the Johansons and the Butterflies, and that's one of the things I was kind of stumbling over myself with. Interesting detail that the Butterfly is kind of, it's kind of like a monarch system right there where the female takes the last name in a marriage. So just kind of an interesting way the Puberty Society works.
Right, I thought that was the male that takes the female name.
Yeah, the male that takes a female name, right. I'm saying the female takes the head of the family name.
Oh, yeah.
It's very much like, there's a lot of like subtle humor in this episode. This is actually one of my favorites of the season so far because there's just a ton of subtle humor where the Johansons are just total, like, just down-home hick types. I mean, they're royal, but they're as close to being hicks as royalty can possibly be. And then meanwhile, you have the Butterflies who are just like kind of like over-the-top parodies of like, of like royal society. Just like my specific favorite gag is the one queen having the corn fed to her.
They're basically uptight snobs.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, let's start on the corn.
It's just kind of funny that even the queen butterfly doesn't really like them that much.
Yeah. But let's start on the corn, Jacob. Let's start on the corn.
Fun fact, though, you know how you asked me what the king's name was yesterday?
Yeah.
That was named out to be River. Darren Estes actually has revealed the queen's name.
Wait, okay.
Her name is actually Moon.
Moon. Oh, okay. I like that.
So there's Moon Butterfly.
Moon and River.
Moon River.
I like that. And seriously, I really think that River is just such a fitting name for that guy, and he's quickly becoming both of them are becoming. Like, I really think that the Queen is definitely improved since season 1. I think season 1, she got a little repetitive, She was just kind of the classic, like, worrisome mom type, very strict. I think she's got a little bit more dimension this season.
She was even like that in the first few episodes of this season.
Right.
I mean, basically the first 2 times she appeared, her first line was always, "What did you do?"
Well, yeah, but you know what? The fun thing about that is that I feel like it's kind of like self-acknowledging the character. They're kind of having some fun with like how predictable it's going to be that she's going to come on and say something like that.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just saying.
Anyways, so Jacob, can we stop burying the lead here? Can we talk about the corn, man?
The corn. Talk about the corn.
Corn. Okay, so this is just, like, I think the whole end game of the season is just Ludo completely stealing all the corn from Butterflies and sending them into a state of savagery because none of them can get to the corn.
Well, it's going to go along the line with what I said. He's using the corn. My theory is that he's going to use the corn to gain leverage of the monsters.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, who knows? For what we know, it could be a double whammy.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think with what we saw in this episode, just how stoked everyone, including Marco, especially Marco, was on the corn.
Yep, even Marco likes the corn.
I don't know, maybe his family just doesn't usually eat corn. He's like, all right, I love corn.
It's surprising considering they're Hispanic and a lot of their diet has usually Hispanic diet involves corn.
No, it's interesting though because it's like literally this big feast, this really fancy royal feast that they're having, and literally the only thing there is corn. There's no side dishes. It's like it's just all variations of corn. So if Ludo is going to take the corn, man, like you said, I definitely think he's playing to take control of the monsters for sure. But I think on a more personal level, he wants to see the butterfly empire kind of collapse unto itself because he knows how much those people love their corn and how much they'll go nuts without it.
And it's kind of further emphasis in a quiet way, emphasizing like they have a lot of the corns and the monsters are basically starving because of that. It's kind of like they're just superfluously eating all this corn.
Exactly. Right. That's a good point. I
mean, I don't know if that was intended, but it's just a way of showing that, like, they have this corn, and early episodes, monsters are starving. Definitely something's going on here. Something shady might be going on.
Okay, so let's kind of break down the more personal side of this story. I really, you know what, Jacob? I really love rewatching this episode. I think this episode is one of the most rewatchable of the season so far because there's a lot of layers going on. You know, we get a lot more insight into why River is the way he is with the family. And like I said, he's quickly becoming one of my favorites. I'd say he's in the elite group with Glossaric.
Alan Tudyk for you.
They should make a spinoff with River and Glossaric just being roommates. You stay on my side of the apartment, River.
No, I say, you stay on my side. I'll stay on my side. You get the small side over in that corner over there.
Oh, God. Well, that's fine because I can go to my book and there will be infinite space. You have a book full of infinite space in your side of the apartment?
No. Let me that book.
Okay. Oh, God.
Forgive me, Alan Tudyk. I can't do a good impression of your voice.
Okay. So let's see. Where were we?
The beginning of the banquet.
Well,
actually, I think we're talking about the relationship between Star and her, and like the relationship with the Johansons, the butterflies, and Star.
Mm-hmm. Well, Star wants to, it's a very kind of typical thing. She doesn't want to be at the kids' table. That's something we can all relate to at some point, which is kind of like the driving point of the episode. I really do like Star's arc. I think this is one of the best arcs she's had in the episode, in the season so far, where, you really do see her being pushed very far. I mean, throughout the episode, we do see, she literally pushes her father down a mountain.
Yeah, as Marco points out. Yeah, I tries to point out as he keeps yelling.
You just put your father down. Oh! You just put your father. Oh! All right.
Yep.
I mean, they play that for comedic effect, but seriously, let's take a pause and think about that for a second. She pushed her father.
Yes.
Down a mountain.
And that's when Marco began to realize that something was off about this game.
But I really like the build up to it. I like all the family members we get. Like I said, there's this one guy, Uncle Hatrude, I think it is. Where he's just this very over the top kind of jester Shakespearean figure, speaks in like a really kind of fancy dancy dialect. And he's just like, Marco kind of slips and he offers his hand, and then what is it? There's like some sheets that fall out and Marco falls down.
I think it's like almost an entire guy, it looks like, falls out of it.
Yeah, that's true. It does look like another guy falls down. Right. But then he gets caught in I don't know. It's just all to illustrate the whole point of the Game of Flags is it's the families just literally going at it and being brutal to each other and celebrating it. Like, nice shot, Uncle Gertrude. Why are you congratulating him?
That's the Game of Flags.
Okay, so I think you and I can both agree one of the funniest moments is the Uncle Lump.
with the horse body.
Yes.
He got his head chopped off in the last game. Don't worry, he landed on a horse.
I think he likes it better this way.
Here's the question, though: what happened to the horse?
That's true.
How did did the horse really lose its head, or did his head take over the horse?
But I think maybe the funniest line of the episode. First of all, I just want to make this comparison. I'm sure it's not on purpose, but I think I really like the announcer guy, and he very much reminds me of the portrayal of King George in Hamilton. Just a little bit. I mean, I know that's not what they're going for, but just you and I both like Hamilton, so I don't know. Just something I was kind of picking up on.
Haven't listened to it in a while.
But so there's there's this line, and there is a repeat of last year. Our dear Uncle Lump, who shall take the lead? I'm besides myself with anticipation. Oh, he's just really funny, just really clever, snide commentary, just the humor in it is that he's saying all these like, oh my god, I'm so stoked on this, but really he has the demeanor if he doesn't give a shit.
He's talking about like some very harsh things that are going on in the game.
Yeah.
Like basically people beating the crap out of each other, and he's like, yeah, let's see, he's taking the lead, and oh, he just stepped on her, and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, I mean, it does get pretty brutal.
Yeah,
I mean, there's people just stepping on each other. There's lava involved, I think.
I mean, here's the thing, though. The whole thing starts out funny, but near the end, when you see, like, Star looking around, you actually realize that, like, it's not funny anymore. They're actually hurting each other.
Yeah, right, which is a good kind of build to the episode. I really like how the episode kind of, at first, it has a very kind of, like, Warner Brothers, like, zany, over-the-top humor vibe to it, but then as it goes on, it's more like Pixar, you know what I mean? It's just, like, we went from Bugs Bunny to Toy Story 3.
Yeah, it's, like, it's brutal. Like they said, the way they portray it at the beginning is like, oh, they're just, having fun with it and all that, but it's like, no, they're actually trying to hurt each other. There's something really wrong with it.
They're celebrating it. And they're celebrating it. I think the fact that they're celebrating it, like they're congratulating each other, I think that's probably like psychologically the most messed up part about it.
That Game of Flags is very, very morally ambiguous.
Oh God. Okay.
The game itself, not the episode.
Right. So let's kind of break down the Queen. Like she has that great moment where, she's just like off, like just, casually enjoying herself. And then she looks to the side like, oh, there's my gal.
Like she's proud that Star is actually listening to her for a
change. Right. But then of course it turns out to not be the case at all. It's a very horrific reveal that Star and Marco are both just giant lumps of, I assume, kind of like cream corn. I don't know.
I think it was mashed potatoes.
You're telling me it's not corn?
No, I mean it might be corn, but I thought it was like mashed potato. I thought you referred to it later as a mashed potato baby.
Maybe you might be right. But I just in the back of my mind, I just like to think that everything at that table is corn.
Oh, well, it might be. I could be wrong.
Okay, but
it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. It's a food effigy.
Of course. So that leads to one of the most kick-ass moments of the episode, with the Queen just revealing her puberty form.
Well, puberty was really just like the process in which that happens. We don't actually know what that form is called.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I say puberty just because that's the one time we've seen Star in that form. So
I mean, that's what I call it. I mean, there's really no better name for it. I mean, this is entirely off the top of my head. Just now, I like to call it true butterfly or something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that might completely not be its name. I was just called puberty, but that's just like a name I just came up with, true butterfly or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes up to the point when like Marco got through Star's head, like convincing her like this game's changing you. It's not who you are. But then she gathers all the flags to for her own reason, which we don't know just yet.
At first, we think it's like really dark, like she's really taking it to the extreme. Like she doesn't just want her flag at the top; she wants to take everyone else's flag with her. It's kind of played that way.
Kind of, especially with the way the music's played.
Right.
And the way she's she's being attacked by one of, I'm assuming either her ants or the Johansons. It's really kind of hard to tell. I think it's actually one of her own, the butterfly ants. what happens, like, then we get the kick-ass moment with the Queen where you reveal that she's interesting development. Like, she doesn't need the wand to do magic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was always thought up until that point, at least by me, that you need like the wand to channel magic to be able to do that.
Right, right.
But it's revealed that she can pretty much freeze everybody in place just by doing something.
I mean, I feel like we kind of got a little hint of that with the whole dip down thing.
Yeah, it is true. But we never saw it in such extent, and it proved that the Queen is more powerful than we thought.
Right, right.
I mean, she was able to pretty much quell a bunch of people at once.
Yeah, and I just love the design. I can't get over it. It's so cool.
Her wings and 6 arms, and how they just meticulously fold back when she's done, like it's nothing.
All right, so let's see. How do we round this off?
Props to the animators on that, by the way.
Yeah.
So we should talk about how Star ends it.
Yeah, well, she has the idea. She basically just wants to gather up all the flags, just because she sees it's kind of tearing everyone apart. I don't know. You can explain it better than me. I'm still kind of sick and dazed. I'm sorry.
Well, what happens is Star, after Marco convinced her what she said, she gathered all the flags, not for her own gain, but for everyone to claim as their own. Like, so she could claim it for everyone to bring the family closer together.
Mm-hmm. And that's the most adult thing that the Queen's heard all day, and that earns her a place at the the adults' table. That's
probably the most adult thing she's ever seen Star do.
Probably, yeah. It's a pretty good turning point for the relationship between Star and the Queen, I'd say.
Yeah, it's not actually. I mean, Star does still have a lot of growing up to do. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised
of course.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's like the most mature thing she's ever seen Star do in her entire life.
Mm-hmm.
To bring these two sides of the family together.
Right.
And basically, she just goes like when Star decides to give her a hug, like, Star, giving public displays of affection are not a trait of the butterflies. The Johansons, however, are amazing at it. And she's like, you are the perfect blend of both sides of our family.
Yeah, that's such a nice sentiment. So I think the good development here is that
that's basically no higher compliment from your parent. You're a good side of both of us.
Sure. And I think the good side of this is the Queen is really kind of realizing that Star's kind of, the Johansson side of her personality, let's say, is maybe not such a bad thing after all.
Yeah, she's beginning to realize that maybe there's a good thing about that. Instead, she's not so strict and uptight, and maybe that's a good thing. And it's kind of funny that even like the Queen even doesn't like the more uptight side of her own family. That's the thing. Maybe that's why. Who knows? Maybe that's why she was attracted.
That's true. That's a good point.
Maybe that's why she was attracted to River in the first place.
Yes, Aunt Gertrude. I heard you the first 150,000 times you've said it.
Like I said, maybe that's why she was attracted to River in the first place, is because of his rambunctious personality.
Probably, yeah. Okay, so we end the episode with Star saying, "Oh, Mom, I never wanted to win that stupid game anyways. Only an idiot would want to win that game." And then, Marco Diaz, King of the Hill.
He's using his sweater as a flag. And thus, he wins, and now he apparently gets to look down on everyone.
Oh, God. It'd be great if they kind of ran with that. Like, that's right, Star. I won the game of flags. I don't know. Just they call it back at least once in the season. I'm looking down on you.
Yeah. I mean, it does well. Not that it ruins his point or anything, but like, it kind of like undermines the point he was trying to get across earlier. Or maybe he just realized they were just doing it for fun now, just decided to join in or something.
You know what? That's true. It's a funny joke, but that's actually a really good point. I never even thought about that because of how well timed the joke is.
Yeah, it kind of undermines his point, but then again, he probably just realized it was all for fun now, so he just went with it.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it's just funny.
Okay, any final thoughts about this episode?
Well, now, then again, it really wasn't changing him into an evil, heartless monster.
Oh, no, of course not. Of course not. But maybe it'll develop into that. No, I'm just kidding.
That's theory.
No, really, yeah, but maybe. All right. Any final thoughts?
No, we pretty much covered all we could this time around in a more cohesive manner than we did last time.
Much more, because I'm still a little sick, but I'm recovering. I'm getting better, so.
Sorry about that, folks.
No, it's all good, man. It's like 90% my fault. I was just stumbling all over myself. Anyways.
No, this is a strong episode, especially we only saw snippets of the relationship with her mother in the past. I mean, we just got hints oh, it's strange. It's a strange, stereotypical mother-daughter thing, Mother, strict mother, rebellious daughter, yada, yada, yada. I mean, not that that was a bad thing that they did with it. They had it actually kept it fresh throughout the series. But it's just here to actually see them interact more. Like this is the first time we've actually seen her, since the season finale with her mother, and they didn't even interact much in that episode.
Sure.
But to see them actually interact and have a mature moment together and feel like that Star's growing up and all that, there's actually a pretty nice development between the two.
All right, so yeah, like I said, Jacob, I'm just really glad we actually took the time to redo this podcast, because I would have been embarrassed with that last one up there. So I do think this is one of the stronger episodes of the season. Really good development on, I'd say, everyone's part, except maybe Marco, because like we said, he kind of defeats this whole point of this episode. He's just kind of there for the laughs and to be kind of a Jimmy Cricket for Star. But no, I mean, good development on Star. Really, really cool. Cool reveal with the Queen. We get some more of River's personality. Again, I really like that name, River.
and not to mention the corn.
The corn, yes. All right. Okay, so
this brings Ludo's plan to corn and the book.
Right.
So he sets his sights on the books, and he's also amassing corn.
And I believe we've got about 3 weeks worth of episodes still listed, and that's going to bring us to the halfway point in the season. So we've still got quite a bit to go. There could be some twists and turns along the way. I'm sure they're probably saving Toffee for the second half. So,
like I said, we get to see a giant lizard creature in one of the upcoming episodes. So who knows? They might be a relative or just some kind of unrelated.
Yeah, potentially. Okay.
Or maybe just some other unrelated giant lizard monster. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. All right, so Jacob, we've kind of been taking a break from Wander Over Yonder, but I think we should get back on that post-haste. So expect that up sometime in the next couple days. And then also Milo Murphy's Law coming up. I know the first couple episodes are up on Amazon. Jacob, you've already watched them. I'm kind of saving it for when the show actually premieres, because I don't want the show to premiere and be like, oh, I've already seen the episodes. So I'm just going to hold out, and then we'll talk about the episodes when the shows actually officially premiere.
I was just excited for it.
For sure.
I was just excited. That's why I decided to watch it.
No, I understand. I completely understand. But we will be reviewing that show. So and like I said, along with keeping up with Wander Over Yonder and this, Steven Universe is on kind of a break right now, but that's okay. We've always got cartoon content and DuckTales in 2017, which we're excited about. Yeah. All right. So woohoo! So thanks for joining us, folks, and tune in next time when we get a little weird and a little wild once again. Oh dear, there goes our repeat of last year. I'm dying with anticipation to see who takes the lead.